as they make it.
Yeah, it's a giveaway can.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing that one. That was funny. Yeah.
But I'm just saying that you can do it if you've got an opinion, and I believe everyone does. And if you've got the passion, just write. You don't have to write the greatest script, and it doesn't have to go up there.
For me, though, cinema is really important because it impacted my life growing up. For me, that's why I stick to it. But obviously, my friends, and you've worked with Jamie before, it's awesome that you can do. Yeah, you can do both, of course. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to impact. If you choose to, you can choose to do whatever you want and impact society. A lot of these kids are doing. Some of these kids are doing it that way. Some are doing inspirational videos. Some are bringing communities together. There's a company, Wong Fu Productions, the Asian American community, making these great representations of what Asian Americans go through, and they go straight online and just, they have built a following of millions over the last few years, and they make great. I would say it's not the genre of prank video. It's art. It's stories about diversity and marginalization and all those issues. So the internet now is where everyone's moving, but for me, cinema is really important. It's so important to me. When I see it in the, when I went back to the motherland in the Philippines and saw the Australian Filipino perspective presented back to the audience, I sat there and I looked, and some people hated it, but the people that really connected to it, that had traveled abroad and had similar experiences in America and Australia, they were ecstatic about it, because there's something about the cinema. There's something about that. But that's for me. That's not everyone.
If you really make a film and want it to be seen in the cinema, there are so many festivals around. The VNC has a festival. There's opportunities for you to share with an audience in that environment if you want to show your film that way.
Can I say something here? Sorry for the pity. I was just listening to this point. Just one little comment, and then off we can go. I think the biggest thing we missed out on the cinema factor is the fact that it actually touches 4 senses. One is the audio, one is the visual, and one is the thought in your heart. So if you can, it's one media where you are either laughing or you're reasoning. You're trying to find an answer to some question that is raised on screen, and then when you find it, and you agree to it, and you don't agree to it. So there's a lot of roller coaster of emotion, engagement, participation. Other forms of art, you are appreciating more than participating. Or maybe admiring at times with the skill of somebody, but here it's sometimes you can relate to yourself, and it could become your own life story, and it could really motivate you to do your own stuff, which is entirely different to a cinematic world. But that's the impact of cinema, and like you, I'm very passionate about cinema as well. So I was a bit rude here, so sorry about that.
Look, I think from the Victorian Multicultural Commission perspective, we want people to have conversations. So whether it's film, whether it's some kind of multimedia, we want people to tell their stories and just motivate, and because there are a lot of young people. I also teach in a school in Sunshine, and that's a huge diverse population. You've got girls from Africa, from Arabic background, Asian. When you look at the whole group of students, the people that look marginalised or less are the Anglo-Saxons. You don't see many blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls in this particular school, and I think that's why we have to produce and encourage, especially young people, the youth, to tell their stories, because they come from all areas, war-torn areas. Their experiences are really important, and that's what at VNC, through our film festivals, we try and encourage young people, but also older people who have come here and experienced the initial difficulty in how they tell that story, so that the community knows about it.
Thank you so much. I think we all knew that cinema is the strongest form of communication, and it has space for every story to be told, and it can positively influence communities and bring about change. So I really hope that one day the gap between the marginalized, so-called marginalized, will one day become the mainstream. On that note, let's all please thank our beautiful panelists here and for the amazing insight. Thank you so much, everybody. I just have a note from Inga, who couldn't be here with us today. She was one of the panelists. I'm just going to read out a short note on her behalf. Good evening, and please accept my apology for not being able to join you at this festival in honor of Dr. Yashrat Chopra, who this event is commemorating. I want to reiterate what my representative who attended the opening of this festival said on my behalf, and to single out for special mention Mr. Naval Modgil, the festival director, for the rich contribution he is making to multicultural arts as director, performer and promoter, showcasing amazing local and visiting talent for our Indian diaspora and the broader community. India, the world's largest democracy in Australia, enjoys strong political, economic and community ties. India is Australia's 5th largest export market and 10th largest trading partner overall. Australia and India established diplomatic relations when the Consulate General of India was first opened as a trade office in Sydney in 1941. We enjoy a strong international relationship underpinned by two-way prime ministerial visits, with the Australian Prime Minister Turnbull visiting New Delhi and Mumbai in April 2017. A year ago, the Australian government announced it would commission an independent India economic strategy to identify further opportunities for Australian businesses in India, building on our strength, which is a strong and growing active Australian community, which is entrepreneurial and is the largest source of skilled migration and second largest source of international students. More than 450,000 people Indian descent living in Australia. This means that the opportunities for arts and culture will grow and allow for more partnerships such as this festival to occur. I would again like to extend my congratulations to the organizers and participants of the Satrangi festival, which provide all Victorians with opportunities to appreciate the richness of a multicultural society and the contribution of Indian Australians. Congratulations to all, and I'm sorry I'm unable to join you to enjoy the festival. Inga Pulish, Liberal Shadow Minister for Multicultural Affairs. Thanks, Inga. On that note, thank you so much to your panelists. It was wonderful to have you here, and I'll hand over back to Naval for the remaining proceedings of the evening.
Thank you so much, Preeti. Now we'll be presenting a Kuchipudi dance.